Oh wow. Yo, what up guys, it's your boy BP Ham, and today we're making a Thai tea cake with a condensed milk topping. We're doing a riff on Molly Baz's Earl Grey tea cake recipe, which is delicious in its own right, but we're cutting down some of the oil and switching out the Earl Grey tea with some Thai tea to give this more of an Asian twist. Thai tea is one of my favorite boba drinks, and I can't wait to see what this tastes like in a loaf cake. So let's get started. For this recipe, you're gonna need all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, kosher salt, a neutral oil, got vegetable oil here, baking powder, baking soda, Thai tea, whole milk yogurt, 2 eggs, vanilla extract, and then for the top, optional, sugar in the raw or turbinado sugar, and then to top off the Thai tea flavor, condensed milk. To get started, we need to prep a few things. So we're gonna preheat our oven to 325. And then what I already did is lined my 9x5 loaf tin. And what I did is spread vegetable oil all throughout it, put in a sheet of parchment paper so that there's some overhang so that we can easily lift out the cake, and then also vegetable oil on the inside so there's no stickage to be happening. And next what we need to do is measure out our tea, and since this is a Thai tea infused cake, we have some Thai tea that I could not find in any grocery stores around me, so I had to order this on Amazon. If you can't find it, I'll leave a link to this brand in the description box below. This is Cha Tru Mue brand. I probably butchered that. So inside here you have these little tea packets, and we're just gonna cut these open and measure out 3 tablespoons. And oh my gosh, already smells so good, like Thai tea you get at the boba shop. So super excited. Just grab your scissors and pour that in. It looks like each packet is about 0.75 tablespoons, so I'm gonna put in 4 packets. And this tea is already pretty fine, but I'm gonna use a mortar and pestle and just grind it up in there so that I don't have any big tea like flakes in my final product. So let's just measure that out. Got 1, 2, that's about 3. So about 4 packets of this if you have this brand. Now I'm just gonna grind it up, get in there and use some muscle, get that into a nice fine mixture. All right, I think that's good enough. Put that off to the side. Grab a medium bowl and we're gonna whisk in our dry ingredients. So we have 250 grams of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder. Give it some lift. And even though it's a dessert, you have to put in some salt because that just brings out all the flavors. So we have kosher salt here. This is 1.5 teaspoons of diamond kosher salt. But if you're using Morton's, use 1 teaspoon. Diamond kosher is not as salty as Morton's, so it's okay to use a little bit more. Now grab a whisk or something and mix this really thoroughly. Get all those incorporated in there so that your batter evenly distributes all of those delicious goods. This recipe is super easy, so if you have not baked that much, this is one to start with. It's not that finicky and turns out great every time. And again, this is a tea cake. It's not like a cake, so it is gonna be a little different from a regular cake, so don't be alarmed by the final product if you're like, this is not cake, but this is more of a like, wake up in the morning, eat this as breakfast, or eat it as lunch, or dinner, or all 3, whatever you so please. Time for our wet ingredients. Get a large mixing bowl, and you're gonna crack in 2 eggs. I like to crack my eggs in a different bowl because I know me and I will get eggshells in everywhere. So I got 2 eggs in there. These are large eggs. And then 250 grams of granulated sugar. We're gonna mix this in there for about a minute until it's really light and pale. You can use an electric mixer, but I mean, it's so little time, like why would you just have to take that out, plug it in, wash it? Ain't about that life. So just mix this by hand. If you want, you can use a towel to put under your bowl to keep it from moving. This only takes about a minute by hand and gives you a little bit of an arm workout for the day. Whew, my arm. weak. But really just this brings some air into it, gets the final product more light. Molly says to time it, so just put on a timer to do exactly 1 minute, no less. Now you can see it is now lighter in color. All that's kind of mixed through. Now we're gonna add in 1 cup of yogurt, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and our 3 tablespoons of Thai tea. Our yogurt, vanilla extract, and our tea. Give this a thorough whisk. Ooh, I love when that tea just gets in there. It looks so cool. Ooh, it smells so good. You guys do not understand. Now stream in 3/4 cup of vegetable oil at a slow pace. And you just want to have that stream in as you whisk it. So just whisk your mixture and then at a high point, just let that stream in slowly. And you don't want to do this all at once because you want that oil to really distribute and be able to mix without it splitting. And as you mix in that oil, you can see this mixture is becoming that Thai tea orange color that we all just love. All right, we got all that oil in. Give that a good stir. Now mix in that dry mixture we made earlier. Be careful here so it doesn't spill outside of your bowl. And don't over mix this. Just mix it until it's just thoroughly combined because we don't want too much of that gluten to form. I'm gonna grab a spatula so that we can get all of the sides mixed in and make sure you get under there so that it's just thoroughly mixed. Oh, and it smells delicious. Grab your loaf tin and we're gonna pour the mixture straight in. Oh yeah, look at that. Make sure you scrape all of that with your spatula. This is not an easy angle to do this at. If you can, do it a little neater than I did, but we're gonna fix it up and just spread it across. Make sure it's even layer. And then I'm just gonna clean up the sides a little bit so that they don't burn in the pan. Give this a quick pat on the bench to release some of those air bubbles. And then optionally, we're gonna sprinkle this with some turbinado sugar. So just grab some in your hand and from a high point, just kind of sprinkle it on there. This is gonna add some nice crunch and texture to your final product. Now we're gonna bake this for about 1 hour at 325 in the middle rack. Goodbye. See you in a bit. All right, so our tea cake has finished baking. It took about an hour. I let it cool down completely and we're just going to release it from the sides of the pan. Just using a knife. And then we're just gonna pull it up and out and it should come out fairly simple. I'm going to take off the bottom parchment, put it onto a cutting board. I did stick a bamboo skewer in, took it out, and it came out clean, so we know that it's cooked. And then I have some condensed milk and a cornet that we're gonna drizzle on top. You want this to be completely cooled so that your condensed milk does not melt. So I'm just going to drizzle this on the top. Just like that. You don't have to put condensed milk, but I think it complements the flavor of the Thai tea. So there it is. We're gonna cut it open and taste it. Get yourself a serrated knife and then just cut slices of the cake. Oh, and just look at that. You can see the Thai tea kind of turn orange. I mean, just look at that. It feels super moist on the inside. So let's taste it. We got our tea cake cut up. We got our tea made because you can't have tea cake without tea. So we got our fighting cup. My roommate's fighting cup. Stick with the Asianist theme with the Thai tea, you know. Oh wow. That crust on this cake makes it. Oh, make sure that you cook it enough so you get a good crust because that crunch with the soft, moist interior and that Thai tea flavor This tastes just like boba in a tea cake. Wow. And then that condensed milk on top just ties it all together. So good. Wow. It is sweet because that Thai tea with the sugar and then condensed milk, but such a great tea cake that I could see myself eating this for breakfast or even a snack or even as a dessert. Like, definitely worthy of your making. Yeah, so just want to thank Molly for a great recipe. Definitely will be making this many times again with maybe different teas. If you do make this recipe, please comment below on what kind of teas you use or what kind of glaze you put on top so I can have some ideas for the next time that I make this cake. That's it for today, guys. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you guys